All right, hey guys, so today I'll be doing an acrylic pour. I'm going to show you how I mix my paints to the consistency that I like. I've done about 15 pours in the last week or so. Here's some examples. There's a good one. At the end of these, I do put a coat of polyurethane, actually about 2 or 3 coats, depending on, and it really pops the colors. So yeah, today that one looks like Jupiter. So today I am going to show you how I mix my paint, and I'm going to do a pour for you guys. Hopefully it'll come out like one of those. So I always start with the pouring medium. Now this is Liquitex Pouring Medium. I have a small bottle here. I just ran out of my gallon. The rest of that is another gallon's on the way. So I pour that about 2 ounces in the bottom of the cup. This is an 8x8 canvas. It's a thin side. I do a thicker side as well. I like these canvases because it doesn't take as much paint. And you know, you're still in the experimental phase. So I do 2 ounces of the pour. Then I will top it off with the paint. So I'm gonna add, let's do a dark teal today. And right now I have I'm using a Artist Loft paints. They're cheap paints. They're only $2 for a tube at Michael's right now. So I've found that it doesn't really matter which paints you use. They all work well as long as you put the right amount of pouring medium in there, as well as Floetrol. I do use Floetrol. I just put a dab in there. It doesn't take very much from my experience. Mixing is the important part, of course. Mixing it, I don't mix it too fast because I don't want the bubbles, but just give it a good mix, usually about a minute or so. This one already looks pretty good. You want it runny, but not watery. You want it, if it's too thick, it's not gonna spread, it's not gonna pour. So make sure you have a good mix here, get it all together, emulsified. Scrape the sides, the bottoms. That's a good consistency there. I'd say that's pretty good. Now, I've got red, I've got teal, the dark teal, I've got sky blue, I've got a white, and I've got an ocean Bahama blue, greenish. The exact names: aqua green, I have a light blue, the red is a crimson, the dark teal is a turquoise, and of course white. So now I do add my silicone. I use the treadmill belt lubricant. I put a little bit more than I've seen other people put. I put, you know, a little dash. It doesn't take a whole lot, but the last few times I've done it with just a couple of drops, not many cells have popped up. So the goal here obviously is to get cells. Now, I only mix it about 3 times around. 1, 2, 3. And that should give a good mixture. Once you start pouring, it mixes it anyways. So I've got my 9-ounce cup here. I'm going to start pouring into this cup here. I'm going to start with the white. I always leave a little bit to go back later. Start go with my teal, my darker turquoise, my light blue. Already stuff happening in the cup. Red. Then I always finish it with some white to pull everything down together. I'm gonna do a flip pour on this one. Normally I just use push pins. This is the top of a Rubbermaid bin that I've just flipped over. It's worked really well. There's probably 2 pounds worth of paint on this already. So let's just flip it. I'm gonna let this sit for a second. Let's let it spread these out. I'm gonna let it work, the paint work down to the bottom. This table is level. I checked it both ways, actually 3 ways. vertically, horizontally, up and down, left and right, only because I've had problems in the past where the paint just runs off, and I'll take a picture in the beginning and I'll take a picture a couple of days later and it looks nothing like it did a couple of days later. So that's important as well. Make sure it's level, make sure that it's sturdy. Unlike this is the first time I've used these cups and I don't like them, so this will be the last time. But I love these colors together, so let's see what happens. Nice. Beautiful cells coming up, popping up already. I do let it run a little bit. I don't want to lose too many of these right off the bat. So I'll let this, I love the red in here. I love these two contrasting colors a lot. I don't want to lose too much of that red. Come back. And this is where I'll do, a lot of times I'll do another, just a kind of a dirty finish. Kind of go around the edges a little bit. This has been one of the more fun art adventures I've been on in my lifetime. I've worked a lot in colored pencils and acrylics and oils. And I've just found that this, not knowing what you're gonna get, and it's very exciting. It's very exciting and beautiful, and I want to keep making art like this. Now I am going to fire up hopefully pull out a few cells in here. Yeah, I've noticed that sometimes they pop and sometimes they don't, and you know what? That's okay if they don't. I'm totally fine with that. Kind of flows how it goes. I will use need to fill in all this edges and the sides. So there's a few people that I've seen doing these recently. The person that I probably learned the most from was a few people. Karen Goodrich and Rick Cheadle are two that I watch a lot of their videos. Anne-Marie Ritterhoff as well. Very good. And yeah, so they've taught me a lot, and it's really fun. I've got my 8-year-old doing them now. She loves doing them. She's done a couple of them actually. They're hanging on her wall, so anybody can do them. It's really about manipulation, how you want it to look when you're finished. You can control it somewhat, not as much as you can other forms of media, but you can control it somewhat. I would highly recommend giving it a shot. So basically, what you need is the pouring medium, Floetrol, paint, acrylic paint, a mixer, a little bit of lubricant, and a torch. And you can get all of those. You can get lesser brands. You can get at the dollar store. You can find things that take the place of others. So you can do it on the cheapie. I've seen Rick Cheadle do them for $5. I've seen people do them for $100. So it just depends on what you're looking for. But hope you enjoyed this first video. This is one of hopefully hundreds to come. And if you have any questions, please feel free to comment. Thank you.